Have you ever had a place where the rug that was under you was suddenly yanked from you? It's the spring of 2013, and I'm in the city center of Glasgow, in an office that is on the 5th floor. In front of me is a large mahogany table, and I can smell the polish from this morning's cleaning. Opposite this table is a big office chair, his chair. To my left, through the window, I can see workmen working on the next building on scaffolding. From the street below, I can hear the sound of traffic and the odd horn from a car. To my right, through the door, I see him, he's coming. He's striding towards the office, and he looks like my headmaster from primary school. And suddenly, feelings of foreboding start to pervade me. He's wearing a navy blue suit, light blue shirt, stripy tie. His jet black hair is combed right back. And as he comes in, he's looking at the envelope that is on the table. That's got his name. As he sits down, his glasses go to the tip of his nose, as usual. Rosemary, I called you this morning because you have just handed in your notice, and yet you have just been back from your off sick the past 2 weeks. What's the meaning of this? I don't understand what you're trying to do. Well, boss, I told you when I came 2 weeks ago that I was still struggling with my mental health. I told you I'm struggling with getting distracted and that I have to use alarms to remind me to get washed, to remind me to eat. Without the alarms, I'll forget to eat the whole day. But you didn't listen. I told you I couldn't cope with the job, but you didn't listen. Well, Rosemary, you've been off for 6 weeks, and you've had counseling for all those 6 weeks. The company has been paying you. So how come your situation has not changed? Why are you still in the same place that you were in when you were here 6 weeks ago? Boss, I've told you that I'm struggling because I'm not even the only one struggling in this workplace. Even the other girls, they are struggling. I used to help them. But when my marriage started to break and I was going through a divorce, that's 20 years of marriage going down the drain. So I was having problems at home and I'm having problems at work. So I just couldn't cope, but you didn't listen. Well, Rosemary, have you found another job then? Because you can't just leave a job without another job. How are you going to get money coming in? If you've been stressed with money coming in, how are you going to pay your bills? Well, boss, I've decided anything is better than what I'm experiencing at the moment. I mean, it's not fair on my clients, and it's not fair on the other girls because I'm not pulling my weight as I should. I'm not a daft person, but I just am struggling. I know you can't see a bandage and blood on that bandage, but this situation is real, boss. So I just want to go. I just want to be in a safe place. I don't feel safe here. Well, if that's how you feel, then I'll send this letter to the general manager. You've given me 1 week, so in 1 week, that's you done with this company. Any questions for me? No. No questions. Have you ever been in a place where you had to choose between the frying pan and the fire? And I had been in this frying pan for a long, long time. I had been tossed up and down like a pancake. And I thought, that's enough. I've had enough of this. I know I'm not well, but I'm not staying in this frying pan. And I decided I'll go into the fire. Even though the fire had a lot of uncertainties and I didn't know how things were going to work. But I thought anything is better than being in this frying pan. And I would want to say to you, things were okay after I went home. But they were not okay. I struggled still. But at least I was in a safe place. I was at home. I was glad that my family were all living in England and I was in Glasgow. so they didn't see me the way I was. I didn't want them to see me the way that I was at that time, because I knew it was a terrible patch. I knew I had hit rock bottom, and somehow I didn't know what else to do. It's been 3 months, and I've been at home, mostly on my own. Jackie, my friend, used to phone. It's Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Yeah, I'm fine. One step back, sometimes 2 steps back, 1 step forward. Yeah, things are still, I'm still struggling, yeah. You what? You want me to go with me to Israel? Jackie, are you listening to yourself? I've not even been to Costa for a coffee. How can I go to Israel? I just couldn't do it. Have you asked Janet? You can go with Janet. I'll try next year. You what? You want to go with me? Oh, Jackie, there's no way whatsoever I can do that. International conference with lots of people there. I can't do it, sorry. I couldn't cope with the job. What about airports, flights, and all that? You want me to think about it? I can tell you now, nothing will change. You still want me to think about it? Oh, Jackie, you can't be persistent, you know. Okay. I will think about it. 2 days? Oh, okay. 2 months later, we found ourselves in Israel. And Jackie had managed to convince me. I thought this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. I think I'll pass out at the airport and be, just be out of for the counting on the flight. But we did go. And it was an international Christian conference. There was singing, dancing, preaching. But they also had some workshops. So they had workshops for politicians, for business people, for dancers and all that. And we chose the business workshop. So the 3rd day of the conference, I found myself in this conference. So I'm sitting in a large conference hall. We're sitting on the 3rd floor, on the 3rd row. And behind us are rows and rows, one higher than the next, as they do in cinemas. On the sides are lovely cream curtains on either side. In front, there's a stage and a podium at the center. On the left is a young man who is playing the keyboard softly as they wait for people to come in. And streaming in through the doors are people from different nations with their lanyards, like you have today, and the country they've come from. So I hear different nations, languages as people pass us. And then suddenly, there he comes through the door, a larger-than-life character. He reminded me of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then he came in, bounded up the steps, and went behind the podium. Looks at everybody with a smile. My name is Miles Monroe. I'm from the lovely country of the Bahamas. Some people call me doctor in my country and elsewhere as well. It's lovely to see all of you here. I come here every year, and I always love to see aspiring business people and those that have been in business for a long time. So before I start, I want to ask you a question. Where do you think the richest place on earth is? Is it the diamond mines of South Africa? Is it Silicon Valley? Or is it Las Vegas? The richest place on earth is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, songs that were never sung, books that were never written, and businesses that never took off. Because those people died without realizing their life assignment. So I want to ask you this morning, do you know what your life assignment is? And are you pursuing after it? Look to the person on your left and on your right and tell them there's greatness on the inside of you. So here's my question to you today. What are you going to do about this? Are you going to enrich the graveyard? Or are you going to find out what your purpose in life is and pursue it no matter what the cost? Think of Louis Pasteur, who discovered penicillin and changed the medical world forever. Because prior to that, there were no antibiotics, but the discovery of antibiotics made people's health better. So what discovery do you have that you're sitting on? You don't want to go in the coffin with that. Jackie, I just felt a fire come on the inside of me. I know there's lots of people around here, but it's just spoken to me. I don't know how you're feeling, but I have to find my purpose. My life can't just end this way. Yes, Rose, that is why I brought you here. You see, you love helping people. You've worked as a nurse all these years and as a midwife. You've delivered hundreds of babies. And think of that book you were writing. You've just gone through a bad patch. But that's not the end. This is only the beginning. I came back to the UK. And that feeling that I'd had in that place, where I felt like I'd been involved in a fire, and I'd had ash all over me, in my hair, in my eyelashes, and even in my nostrils, just suddenly changed. It was no longer there. I felt like I did a baptism of a zest for life. Have you ever been in a place where you felt like there was an infusion on the inside of you of this zest for life, and no matter what was happening, you knew things had changed? And that's how I felt at that time. I signed up for some coaching and got my certification. After that certification, I started to feel, because I felt with the coaching, I wanted to help people like me who were in that place, who were overwhelmed in their workplace, who had their control taken from them, and they'd no say whatsoever what was happening to them. And I knew I wanted to help people to find their passion and work in their passion. And when I was working as well in the NHS, I worked nights. I used to work nights as well at that time. So I would hear people talking about the problems they were having with the job. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this manager. I don't like the pay. Almost every day there were people who had these problems, but nobody was actually taking a step forward to do something about it, to change the situation. So I wanted to bridge that gap where I can help people from that place to come to here, to come from that place of ashes to come to beauty, so that the beauty that is on the inside, or the greatness that Dr. Miles Monroe talked about, would come out, and then they can serve other people with that greatness. So that's the kind of coaching that I do. And it's called the Profitable Passion Formula. But with the Profitable Passion Formula, it's working in something that you love. Most people are in a job that they don't like, and they just work in that job because that's what's putting bread on the table, while they've got their passion that they have. So there's another chart that side, because when I did this yesterday, I knew it would be too far for the people at the back. But the Profitable Passion Formula has got 7 elements to it. And these 7 elements are what I've discovered can help you to come from a place of overwhelm in a job to have either a side hustle, because the people I work with, I call them my side hustlers, to have a side hustle while you are still in the job, so you don't run out of money. You don't want to just jump from one to the other. And then some people end up having a full-blown business. So the first bit is to appraise. And what do I mean by that? Appraise, suppose we've all had appraisals at work, or even in the home, you appraise your finances. What's coming in, what's working, what's not working. So that's appraise. Unless you appraise, you don't know what's serving you and what's not serving you. So our clients, they appraise by using the simple diagnostic steps. And it's a 4-step process, which just shows you the good things that are happening. For example, somebody might like working with people, but they don't like the paperwork. So if you do your business, you set up your business working with people, you can do away with lots of paperwork. And the second is to adjust. So once you know what is not working, you need to drop what's not working and pick up that which is working. Because it's just like you're driving down the road and the road is blocked. There's nobody who sit there, but you go left or right or do a U-turn. So this is your U-turn to say, A wasn't working, I'm going to start to do B. And we do that by using the personal shine process. And what do I mean by the personal shine process? It's taking a step back and looking at the solutions that you have brought either to your own life or to other people. I think all of us, there's a time when you solved a problem, or there are things that you really love doing, and there are skills that you have gained along the way in your profession. So it's marrying all that to create a business. The third thing is the audience. You need to know who you're serving. I think you agree with me that you cannot serve everybody. I mean, even if you tried serving everybody, there are not enough hours in the day to try and do that. But there's a particular target audience that you can serve, that you have solutions for. So we use what is called the clear customer investigator. In other words, you are looking at your audience, you're looking at what are their pains, what keeps them awake at night, what are their aspirations, what is the gap that is there with what they want to do and where they want to go. And this is when you assemble your content. So you assemble your content using a tool that we have called the Confident Content Creator. You are confident because you've done your market research. You know exactly who your audience are. You know where they hang out. You know what's bothering them. And you come with your solution like a lock in a key to unlock their situations and to unlock their lives. Then the fifth is assess. And what do I mean by assess? You have created this business model, but now you need a professional person to give you an individual, feedback. You're wanting feedback. You've looked at your business, you've given it the thumbs up, but you need other people to give it the thumbs up because we all have blind sides. You can be blindsided. So we're with a professional. They can look at your business and say, drop this, it doesn't really work with that audience. Pick this up, do it this way. So they can help you with polishing your business. And then access. You've got this amazing business, shiny business. Now you need people to access you. How do they get to know you? Unless you work on this access, it means you have got the best kept secret on the planet. It's an amazing thing, sizzling steak, and nobody knows where to get you. But with the impactful rich route, it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's people getting the route to get to you, to know who you are, what you do, and how you serve people. And then finally, it's accelerate. You've had your business. Let's say you want to do coaching. You can start maybe with one-to-one coaching, but you want to accelerate. Because you want this passion to be profitable. Unless it's profitable, you remain in that job and it just becomes an expensive hobby. But you need it to accelerate. So you go from one-to-one to one-to-many. And then you can also have a team. So we use the customer automatic multiplier method with our clients to help them to accelerate their businesses by leveraging technology and teams, having other people that you train to be your hands and your feet to do what you do. So they work in your business while you work on your business and you continue to grow. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the profitable passion formula.